and gentlemen, to the second.
It's episode 2, and you
Yeah.
join us on the snowy mountains of Windhelm for
Oh, is
this
that where we are?
video. Yep.
All right. So last time we were all over the place and we were putting way too
We're
much.
gonna be all over the place again, so we're just warning you. That's what we
No,
said.
no. We've got a few things right in front of our face this time, and we're going to be able to give you some more direct information. We're going to limit the number of things we are talking about per episode now, so
Yes.
you got a basic idea out of the scattered information in the last episode, but now we want to really focus and give you more details. Okay, so for starters, we're going to start out with the actual story. We're going to go back into it, and we're going to start with the actual story of Elder Scrolls Online. Now,
Okay.
the story begins with the rise of the Akaviri continent and the fall of the Riemann dynasty. Now,
Sucks for them.
sure it does. the fall of the Riemann dynasty meant, boom, no more emperors, and we wouldn't see an emperor again for a while. All right, so like right now we have the Akaviri continent. Akavir is a continent off to the east coast. It's off the east coast.
East Coast, okay.
It's a continent off the east coast of Tamriel, and it's home to several different races. But what we mean by Akaviri continent is basically the Tazeki continent. The Tazeki are supposedly snake people, and they are the ones currently in charge because after failing at an invasion in Tamriel, they become like servants to the Riemann dynasty, I believe. I'm pretty sure they become servants to the Riemann dynasty.
I believe so. Can always double check, but right now, let's not bother. We can correct it later. If anyone if anyone in the comments correct us, then that's fine. Feel free to correct us if we're wrong. But yes,
we're looking at you right now. We're looking at you right now. I know you're thinking about correcting me, but
please do. If he's wrong. But sorry, go ahead and continue.
Nobody corrects Max Spurs.
But we're sorry. Go ahead and continue.
So the Akaviri continent's in charge. A continent, I guess, is something like a steward or something. So it's not really the emperor, and because of this, and maybe for other reasons as well, a lot of the different kingdoms and regions of Tamriel started to lean towards wanting more autonomy. They wanted more freedom.
Really?
What?
Really?
What?
They wanted freedom.
They wanted more. They wanted a buffer between them and the continent. They didn't really want to keep paying out things like the tributes and stuff. They wanted more. They wanted more independence, so to speak. But this did not bowl over well with the continent, especially the man in charge of Versidu Shai, I believe his name was.
Sidu Shai.
Versidu Shai.
Versidu.
Versidu. Shai. That guy.
We're probably pronouncing his name wrong anyway, so what does it matter?
Well, he's in charge of the continent at this time, and he decides to go batshit crazy over the fact that everybody wants a little more autonomy or a little more independence in their regions. And he goes batshit crazy about this because he decides that he's going to start raise this massive army into this massive imperial army in Cyrodiil, and he's going to freaking just march to the different corners of Tamriel with this army and crush every other army in Cyrodiil and Tamriel. And he does it's like a good 37 years it takes to pull this off. But
he's a patient guy, waiting 37 years to pull off this perfect scheme.
It takes like 37 years to pull it off, and you know, at the same time, every single dime in the freaking Imperial treasury gone. He spends it all in this army. So he's now made this massive war all across the freaking continent, and everything's burnt down and war torn, and now there's no funds to build it back up. And not only that, but now you have a massive continent and only one army to police it. So how in the hell is the Imperial Legion? How the hell are the Imperials alone going to be able to? Well,
they can't.
Well, actually, I don't know if they were the Imperials at this point. Yeah, but anyways, how is the Empire's troops going to do this alone? They cannot, is the answer. And he knew this going in. There's special mention that he knew this going in, that there would be no way for him to keep order in the continent without everybody having their own forces. But
whoopsie.
But he went through with it. No, not whoopsie at all. He just went through with it anyways. He knew what he was doing, and but the thing is, he had no solution for it. He had no solution for it, but he did anyways. So now the entire continent is just trashed. There's crime everywhere. There's no one to stop it. You know?
The world's your oyster.
No one
feel free.
There's no one to maintain order in all the corners of the Tamriel now. So now we're getting into now he's getting into what do I do now? You know? And eventually he's actually brought an idea by someone else to create what would become the Fighters Guild. It was an organization that would soon become the Fighters Guild, and he would, create the Guild Act to create. Yeah. And so basically, he's starting to piece it back together at this point. So by creating guilds, he's localizing all the different talents and stuff in the different regions, and things are becoming more organized, more. Orders starting to be brought back. He's still really spread out and stuff, but things are actually starting to maybe work again, and this is good. But eventually, even the Akaviri continent is like his son and everybody and his son's family gone. They're just murdered by, I believe, the Morag Tong, which is not the Dark Brotherhood.
Dark Hand.
What?
Wasn't it? Is it the Dark Hand?
No, the Dark Brotherhood and Morag Tong are completely different. But Morag Tong takes them out. And which is ironic because a lot of people think that the Akaviri continent is responsible for the assassination of the Riemann dynasty as well. So... there's a lot of reasons why people started to seek autonomy from the Empire because, things were politically shaky there. You didn't want the Empire. You didn't want Fersidu Shah stabbing you in the back like he did Riemann Dynasty or anything. So there was a lot of reasons for you to sort of try and secede from the Empire at the time. But eventually, even the continent is taken out by assassins, and then you got into the 6th century. The 6th century, we find ourselves Emmerich gets born, and like a little later on in his life, Emmerich, High King Emmerich,
High King Emmerich,
Daggerfall Covenant. Woo!
That cool dude.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
in the common tongue.
He's got that beard, man. He's got that beard. How can you not want to fight for that man?
He knows what he's doing. He can take you and lead you anywhere.
As a matter of fact, he can, because one of his first acts is the repelling of a Reachman invasion of High Rock. The invasion was actually pretty successful at first, until they hit Wayrest. And then the long drawn-out siege of Wayrest caused them to basically just get bored. So, like, the leader of the Reachmen decided to go and try to attack Daggerfall. But in from behind comes freaking Emmerich with his heavy dragoons. And, you know, they defeat them at the walls of Daggerfall. So now, Emmerich's a hero. He's got, he's already had a high station due to his birth. Yeah, he was born as a, I believe a nobleman or something like that. But now everybody knows him and everybody loves him. So he's in the running to become, like, you know, emperor of freaking, you know,
awesome.
Emperor of High Rock, if they decide to pick one. But no, like, he later becomes king of Wayrest, and then the leader of the Daggerfall Covenant. But which is actually signed right after the battle. Like, the first Daggerfall Covenant was created after the battle with the Reachmen. So, right there, you know, that's born and that's done. Joran is born shortly after that event, and then a little after that, Iron. We still don't know.
Not this again. I really do not want to try and pronounce that name. If it's Elvish, then it's probably Aaron, or something like that.
Oh, okay, whatever works. You know, so those two are now born, and then you've got let's see, Akaviri invaders. Once again, show up. This is after Emmerich is crowned king, by the way, of Wayrest. The Akaviri invaders show up in Morrowind, but are pushed back, which led to the joining of Skyrim, Blackmarsh, and what was Dark Elves' place?
Oh, Valen?
Morrowind. Morrowind. It led to the creation of the Ebonheart Pact. Because basically, you know, things were nasty and people just wanted to, you know, they needed something to support themselves, because the war with the Akaviri was brutal, and you know, all of them got involved, and so they ended up signing an agreement between each other shortly after the Akaviri invasion, and that created the Ebonheart Pact. Now,
just to remind you, Max, we don't want to go overboard with the main story.
What?
We've already almost gone 15 minutes.
Oh crap! Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now from there, pretty much, you know, Molag Bal is trying to pull Nirn into Coal Harbor, and so that's the Tharn family teaming up with Metamarco, who is in fact teamed up in secret with Molag Bal.
Pretty much like their own little version of the Dream Team here, as it were.
Well, except, you know, it's the freaking it's the Tharn family that seems to have no clue what's really going on around here. Everybody else is just like, Molag Bal's trying to pull, like, Tamriel into freaking oblivion, and the Tharn family is just like, no, we just have zombies.
That's good for us, right?
No, we've got zombies. We're not. we just have a zombie army. He's not doing that. I don't know if they're in denial or what, but seriously, it can't be a good thing that the Tharn families are being pulled into Cold Harbor. I don't know. Maybe they lost their soul already.
That's the only reason. I wouldn't allow it.
Seriously, I don't get it. But anyways, so they hit the deal with Manamarco. He hits a deal with
Molag Bal.
And so now we have the two factions and Molag Bal in place. And pretty much the Dominion sort of forms out of necessity. I think they help the kittens out of a jam.
the Khajiit.
The kittens.
The kittens. The Khajiit. AKA the kittens.
So they help them out of a jam, and so that's why they join. And now you've got the three alliances, and the alliance war begins. And that is basically the story. That's how it all went down. And, that's the creation of each individual alliance. That's the creation of the current situation.
Sweet. Now that you've all been brought up to scratch.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Now then.
Now I guess we'll move on.
Yes, we move on now. We've talked about the main story. We've covered what is happening now. In a bit more better situations, now we can discuss what we need to talk about, and that is, of course, some new stuff that's been announced.
Well, not exactly new. We've got some newer stuff, and then we got some older stuff, and we're just gonna get into the stuff and try to show you some stuff.
Well, let's begin then.
All right, we're gonna start with the Inside ESO Dungeons article.
Yes.
The Inside ESO Dungeons article wanted to show you exactly what you were going to be doing inside the dungeons, and they wanted to show you what you were going to be doing and what you could do. All right, so let's start by actually trying to read a little bit of the article.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. In lieu of our energy, we want to make blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Very fast.
Can you believe it?
You're Johnny Five right there.
Alright. Start with player roles. Okay. So, in many MMORPGs, players are locked into performing in one role in a group. Whether they focus on damaging enemies, DPS, or damage per second is what this stands for, keeping their allies in the fight, healing, or drawing the attention of enemies away from other to support your group's needs. Now, this is something we talked about in the first episode, I believe.
It was brought up. It was brought up
in passing.
Yeah.
But this is a major feature of any really good MMO as of late. So, it's important that they were able to put this in here properly. The flexibility of classes especially if you're going to have classes, is crucial.
Well, they have to, yes.
Really,
any MMO to be exact needs to be able to balance out dungeons and raids in a way that your team and parties can form together.
Yeah, man. Seriously, you don't want and it's like individual playstyle too. The healer always, that poor little healer in World of Warcraft that sat back there the entire raid just like click click.
And then of course you get bitched at because you were healing the wrong person. It's like, heal me now, heal me now. Okay.
How
Like, no,
does
heal
healing
me
the wrong
now.
person? You can just click on the freaking icon and their name and stuff, and that's it.
Sometimes they lose their icon when they're moving about a lot, and then eventually they heal the wrong guy, and then he gets bitched for it.
Whatever. I never really played that game, but I know.
Well, I'm just going from MMO experience.
I know from other experience.
Yeah, I'm just going through other dungeon experiences that I've played.
You've actually played. You actually played World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah, I played World of Warcraft. And
yeah.
I participated in dungeons and, of course, the big raids. So I know how it feels.
Yeah. You know how it feels? Were you the healer?
No. Thank goodness I was a DPS
at
the time. But I have witnessed healers being bitched at because they didn't heal them on time. And, of course, that encourages the person to rage quit. And then they have to look for a new healer. And then you're back in the time zone again.
It sucks. But anyways, we're moving on here. For example, let's say your group's healer goes down during a boss battle. In many games, it would be impossible to recover from this point. Any game that it's impossible to recover from this point, I don't want to play.
Exactly. That's one thing that'll put people off of dungeon and raid. That's why a lot of people don't do it.
Oh, guess we better leave. What?
It's like, whoa.
Anyways,
all that hard work for nothing. No, we're not leaving.
However, you were prepared for just such a situation. You swap your two-handed sword right out in the middle of combat for a restoration staff, which activates your second hotbar where you cleverly slotted some healing abilities. Now you can keep the party going. Hell yeah! See, this is, but that's what paladins are for. So, paladins were created for that purpose as well, anyways. So.
Yeah, they have multiple roles, I guess, in various things like this. You're either a tank, you're either a DPS, or you're their healer.
Paladins were pretty versatile. Versatile. Paladins were pretty versatile, and that was a cool class once they introduced it. But again, it stuck to this is what this class can do, not what this is what this class will do, not what this class can do. In this in this game we have what this class can do, and we're not locked into anything.
Oh boy.
That's not the end of the differences you'll notice in ESO. Here are some tips that will prepare you for success no matter what role or combination of roles you choose. Okay. DPS. Monsters will attack you. Don't panic.
Thanks. Okay. No offense, but I thought, that was the tank's job to aggro the monsters in, and then you dish out the damage.
Oh, whatever.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No. This game is, man, this game's not about that. This game's about, you actually being in the fight. Even the healer's in the fight this time.
Healers will be in the fight, yeah.
But still, I mean, just if monsters are attacking you guys and you're panicking, then you're playing the wrong games. You need to go play Elmo's Great Adventure.
Does that even exist, I wonder?
I don't know, maybe Hello Kitty Island Adventure?
Yeah, that exists.
That exists. And don't expect your tank to handle every enemy alone. I get pissed off when people expect me to do that in other games.
That was like in our times as well, wasn't it, when we played MMOs with friends?
Oh yeah, there was, classes were always a thing.
Yeah, I remember certain things. It's like, okay, you're gonna when I was playing Archer, it's like, okay, you bring forth the monsters, and then the tank will.
None of us ever wanted to go that extra step and just be like, all right, drop your DPS here, and you know, the whole battle strategy thing. You know, none of us ever wanted to go that extra step with it. For some reason.
I'd rather just Leroy Jenkins it pretty much in those days. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
DPS, you were on. Remember.
Yeah,
unless you, okay, yeah, I'll go.
Just heaven sent, and like if you just area effect, but
that kind of worries me right there. They're saying that the area effect is dangerous. Does that mean friendly fire is going to be on?
No, I don't think it'll be anything like that. I think that you're bringing in more mobs, and effects might be really badass. But I'm wondering if, like, when they're saying like it's dangerous, like the mountaintop.
Yeah. What's the next one?
When you damage multiple enemies at once, you risk getting their attention and straining your healer. Be cautious when employing AOE attacks. Okay, so that's kind of what we just said. Be careful with your attack as a pack. More details in the next section. Okay. Even getting too close to them can cause them to engage in the fight and threaten to overwhelm your party. Well, yeah, we know about aggros.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows about aggros.
If you don't, we're not explaining it. Look up yourself, or unless if you don't, then you wouldn't be playing an MMO, I guess.
Jeez, man. Okay, fine. Aggros.
No, we're not.
Oh, really? Okay.
They need to learn. Let them Google it themselves. But yeah, go on.
Magica potions can be a great boon. Wait, no. I'm sorry. But they can be. First up,
sure they can.
Make sure your party has at least one player that can heal the group. The more players that bring heal abilities, the less need there is for a dedicated healer. Coordinate with your group. You might even find that each player can manage their own health. And I believe that there's, I think several classes have their own healing abilities, don't they? I know the Templar has a healing, but he's sort of a paladin type guy.
What healing ability does he have? Is the thing? Does he have healing touch?
No, he has like an area effect heal.
Ah, that shouldn't be too bad then.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I think it affects allies as well. But yeah, I think like the Templar does. I think I'm pretty sure. I hope the Sorcerer does. I would certainly hope. But there are different classes that have different heals, so they're there. Magica potions can be a great boon, but make sure you choose when to use them carefully. Potions cannot be used in quick succession. In Skyrim,
it's the same.
No, in Skyrim, no, it's not the same. They cannot be. They can be used in quick succession. In Skyrim, you could literally down like 40 potions, and your belly is sitting there like. You jiggle your belly and you can hear it sloshing around in there. Like, it's just ridiculous how many potions you can drink at once. And again, like the sandbox games though are really all about just giving you a fun experience. They don't want you to die,
Yeah.
So I can understand it there, but in situations like this, you do need to. Put a limit on quick potion use. The tank won't be the only party member taking damage. This is
no.
Yeah. This is intended, and you will need to watch the other party members carefully. This is all under healing, by the way, so just so you know.
Yeah.
Before it was DPS.
No problem. But yeah, you kind of figure that, wouldn't you? Yeah. I mean, you will take damage, exactly.
Yeah, you'll take damage too. Yes, we just said that.
Yes.
Remember that you can interrupt, block, and dodge. Crowd control abilities that stun, slow, or otherwise incapacitate enemies can be extremely useful for healers, and so can damaging abilities. This is what I was talking about. This is how this game is going to let the healer get into the fight. We are going to be... You don't need a crazy number of healing skills on your bar to begin with. I mean, you know, you can just... I don't think there's no cooldown in this game. So all you really need is like one good area effect that'll hit everybody, and you're a solid healer right there. You can just spend the rest of your skill slots.
But I'm sure they'll need to watch your magic as well.
Yes.
Your magic bar.
Yes.
You can't just constantly go heal.
You can, but it will drain your magicka.
Yes, that's what I mean. You will have to watch your magicka bar.
Right.
So heal when needed, pretty much.
Right. So but that also means that if you do have other skills on your bar, you're going to want to keep like a certain amount of mana. Like, you won't want to just spam those other abilities either, because you want to keep a certain amount of mana specifically for healing, because you are the healer. Alright. Now we're moving into tanking. You won't need to get every enemy's attention. Every player can take a few hits from standard attacks, and they have lots of ways to take care of themselves. Many healing abilities affect an area, so your healer, if you have one, should be able to take care of several party members.
Well, you would think that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, the area, like I said, the area effect heals are going to be a fantastic boon. Like, they're going to be really nice. There's also apparently there's also going to be cone effects and some direct target heals, but you know, like the cones, you would probably have to stand back for that, and again, that, you know, dives into the whole, well, now they can't get in the fight, and direct heals, I don't know, those are probably going to be, you know, like, really powerful heals, but, you know, we can really hope that that it's just a really solid AOE heal out there, and, you know, that it'll be able to suffice and carry everybody through. Because that would be the best. That would be the best. Like, one heal, the only one heal skill that you need on your hotbar, and everything else could be anything you want. That would make that'd be so fun. Because then you've got these freaking healers that are just rushing up and just doing whatever they want.
What's next?
Because keep in mind, you could actually set up your skills for stamina use.
Yeah.
And so if you keep all your magicka for that heal, and everything else stamina, you could go crazy!
Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Just to remind you, Max, we're pretty short on time, so...
Okay. You do not need to stay engaged with tougher monsters like bosses. They hit much harder, and your damage mitigation and extra health will keep you alive where other characters might die. That's tanking. Okay. Now we're getting into monster behaviors. What enemies attack which member of your party and why? When we set out to design the behavior system for enemies in dungeons, we overwhelmingly felt that we needed something different than a traditional threat system, where by design, only one player, the tank, should receive direct attacks from an enemy. We also realized that we couldn't throw everything associated with a traditional threat system out, not only because that's what many players know and understand, but also because it complements our role system very well.
Okay.
Another goal we have... Wait a minute. What do we have to take from that? What I just read? I don't know if there's anything we have to add on to that.
I don't think so.
Okay. Another goal we have for combat in ESO is that we want to push you away from staring at the UI. Instead of engaging you in the game world through enemy animations, visual effects, and telegraphs to show you where danger is in the world. Now, this means that enemies are going to, like, pull back on, you know, like, on a bow or something, and, like, it'll charge up and release a heavier attack, or your enemy is going to raise his sword over his head, or some kind of tell that you know something's like, boom, gotta do something. Gotta raise my shield, gotta dodge, gotta do something. You know? And
yeah.
So that's gonna be in there, and you know that's beautiful. that's like freaking. That's like Shadow of Colossus gameplay right there. Like that's a little snippet of Shadow of Colossus gameplay. Like all we need now is to be able to jump onto these guys and stab them.
So how far did you get?
Expect. Enemies in any room in a dungeon are all aware of each other. When one fight back, we call this pack mentality. Okay, I call it zerging. But, you know, either way, it's in a group. The whole room is like, hey, wait a minute, that guy just fucked with us. By default, a pack of monsters spread out, and each enemy chooses a target. Player actions can change their targets to some extent. For example, taunt abilities force enemies to attack you for a fixed duration. Attacking an enemy that hasn't been attacked recently can also cause it to focus its switch to you.
Right.
Okay, that's pretty standard. You know, like the taunt ability and stuff like that. That's pretty standard. Pack monsters don't all attack at once. Some immediately join the fight, but others prepare in the back line to join the battle. Now this sounds like I don't know, maybe they're sharpening their sword, or maybe they're gonna go through the motions of like picking up their bows and stuff. Maybe their weapons were on the ground or something, or maybe or actually there was an example of a Dwemer spider which laid down some sort of a charging thing. So it could be things like synergy. We didn't actually get into synergy yet, but synergy is sort of like if you were to spill oil on the ground, and then someone with a fire attack sprayed it, then that oil is going to light up and it's going to burn everybody in the oil. And I think certain spells and different skills will work well together in forms of synergy. There's you can knock an enemy down, and there's a certain attack that someone could do while he's down. You know, things like that.
Right. Easier enough, I guess.
In general, enemies target the closest player that is attacking them. If they aren't being attacked, different enemy types choose targets differently. For example, a ranged enemy is more likely to target a ranged player than a melee enemy is. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that means that, you know, that means actual decision making by I guess it's sort of programmed decision making, but you know, it's a neat step up.
Guess the only way to actually test it out was we have to be in the game.
Yeah.
To see what they actually mean.
Indeed. Dungeons represent some of the toughest challenges in Elder Scrolls Online, and they add yet another adventure you can choose to experience as you explore Tamriel. We hope this peak blah 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 blah. Okay, and that's the end of that. How much just finished? Yeah, that's the end. How much more time we got?
We're pretty much we're almost done. Yeah,
we're tapped out.
Yeah, a few minutes more. We could probably squeeze in.
Okay. Let's try to bring in like the monster I like the most. Right now. We're gonna talk about they've released 2 monsters on the official website. They have actually released information on 2 monsters, and The one I like the most is the Wamasu. Now this thing is, you look at it, I look at it and I say Thunder Dragon. It's big. It's freaking, it breathes lightning, and it's just so sweet. I want to ride one.
It's almost like a Murloc, except it's more lightning based. Wait, you can ride those things?
No. No, I don't think you can, but I want to. I swear, dude. Like, I swear, this thing, like, really, it would be so cool to have as a pet. Anyways, so let's start out by reading some of what the article says. When we design an enemy, we first look at the lore for direction. The Wamasu has never appeared in an Elder Scrolls game, and is rarely mentioned in existing lore. So we had some freedom to define and flesh out this intimidating foe. Yes, he is. And you know what would be a sick kill move?
What would be it?
A sick kill move on this thing? Like, I saw this guy who had his sword held up like he had his hand behind the back of the hilt, and he was driving the sword into the thing's mouth. Oh my god, that would be a sick kill move for this thing. You're piercing through the thundering roar of this thing. It spits lightning at you. Anyway, so our concept artist came up with a wide variety of thumbnails and ideas and worked with Bethesda Game Studios to finalize the art design direction for the Wamasu. Below you can see some of these concepts for the Wamasu and its eggs. Oh, well, Riff will put those up for you.
I'll put those up, don't worry. I'm sure they'll let us use the pictures.
Well, they've been released to the public. Why not?
Yeah.
Once the concept was finalized, figure artists created the model, and we worked to get the Wamasu into the game. If you want to learn more about the details on how we make such a creature, from concept to in-game models, check out the article about the Ogrim. Oh, right! Oh my gosh, we gotta talk about the Ogrim at some point, too.
At some point, yes.
Which covers the whole process. You can see the Wamasu as it appears in the game right now below. And there's another picture that Riff will put in.
Okay.
Even though the Wamasu was in the game, there was still plenty of work to do. One critical step in bringing the enemy to life is adding effects to it and its attacks. To create the effects you see in the game, like lightning, fire, and smoke, effect artists first build particle effects in the editor and paint any new texture needed for the final project.
They're just basically telling you how they developed the monster.
Once the first pass is done, they apply the effects to the monster in the game and start working to ensure that they fit perfectly with the enemy. They look good in the environment, and are consistent with the game style. This often means going back to edit the particle effects and associated textures several times until they look just right. For simple effects, the process can take a matter of hours, but for enemies that need multiple complex effects, it can take a week or more. Legend has it that the Wamasu are enormous, frightening creatures with lightning for blood. So that explains that.
That does it.
Electricity pulses up and down the Wamatsu's spine, presenting a clear warning to potential challengers. Effect artists also give flavor to the Wamatsu's attacks. Its roar charges the air with plasma-like effects, and its savage bite attack also has an electrical element. You can see some of the Wamatsu's effects in this video, and I guess Riff will play the video. Yeah, whatever, man. Do it.
Sure, but sorry to say.
We're almost done.
Yes.
We still weren't done. the Wamasu, like many of our creatures, has more complex boss variation. Boss variants are bigger, deadlier, and have more devastating attacks, which means more work for the effect artists. And when you see the variety of the Wamasu, the effects for its attacks in the game, we think you'll be impressed, with maybe a little, and maybe a little afraid. All right, so that's awesome. I'm so glad that this creature exists. This is my favorite creature they've shown thus far. Although I did like the Ogrim. A lot of people say he's way too cartoony, but I like him. He's funny to me. I just want to go kill him.
Oh, you will eventually. In game, you'll be able to kill him.
You know, this is a fantastic piece of work, and you know, we'll show you the pictures and the video, and you know, it's fleshed out real good, and you know, they did really well.
Yeah.
So, a round of applause for them.
Exactly. But sadly, we're past the 45-minute mark now, so.
All right. So I
we'll
guess
have to call it here.
Yeah.
We started our journey in Windhelm, and we finished back at Windhelm.
We did?
Yeah, we kind of went around.
Oh, okay. Well, going around in circles sounds like us, but we hope that you enjoyed this video a little bit better than our last one, and yep. We hope that you come back to see some of our newer videos that will be coming out this week.
Yep, like, fav, subscribe, and we'll end it here.
See you soon.
See you soon.